Have you ever observed the two parallel realities that coexist in the world? One of people trapped in grievances, fear, and debt. The other of those who are magnets for opportunity, growth, and financial peace. Most people think this difference is capital, luck, or connections. But that's just the surface. The real gap isn't in their wallets, but in their mental code. The difference between wealth and poverty is a science of the mind. Today, I'm not talking about budgets. I'm taking you to the root, the operating system that dictates your results. We'll dismantle the 10 mental principles separating those who survive from those who thrive. If you stay until the end, you'll understand why everything you've tried might have failed, and you'll have a mental map to rewrite your financial story. If your commitment is to freedom, not mediocrity, subscribe now and activate the bell. This channel is for those who choose not to be a statistic. Principle 1. The hunger to learn versus the arrogance of knowledge. Persons with a poverty mindset think education ends with a diploma, believing the world owes them something for their degree. Their catchphrase is, "I know the game." Persons with a wealth mindset operate under the opposite premise. Ignorance is the greatest financial cost. They see every book, course, and mentorship as a capital investment in their mind, an asset that cannot be confiscated or devalued. Imagine two professionals with the same salary. Carlos spends his free time on passive entertainment. When his boss suggests new software, his response is, "It's too difficult. I'll stick with what I know." His market value stagnates. Laura, she invests 5% of her salary in an online course on artificial intelligence, the future of her industry. 3 years later, Carlos is still an average employee. Laura used the skill to launch a side consulting firm, generating 3 times her original salary. The difference: one sought comfort, the other sought the competitive advantage of knowledge. Ask yourself, what new skill am I cultivating today that will make me invaluable in 5 years? If your answer is nothing, you are repeating a pattern of scarcity. Principle 2. Opportunity seen as risk versus risk seen as a path. When a new business idea is presented, the scarcity mindset is a hyperactive defense attorney. But what if I don't have one? Its mental radar is calibrated to find the flaw, the excuse, the point of abandonment. The abundance mindset, on the other hand, is an engineer. Its first question isn't why not, but how do we make it work? They recognize the risk, but they calculate and mitigate it, rather than allowing it to paralyze them. Person A sees the boom in online sales and says, "That's too risky. The market is saturated. I don't have the contacts, nor do I know how to program." They stay on the dock, watching the ships go by. Person V sees the same boom and thinks, if it's saturated, there's demand. How can I solve a problem better than the competition, perhaps with a smaller niche or superior customer experience? They jump in, learn as they go, and navigate. Success isn't the absence of risk, it's strategic risk management. A scarcity mindset paralyzes you with doubt. An abundance mindset propels you to imperfect action. Principle 3. Spending for approval versus investing for freedom. This is the most visible difference. The poor buy liabilities to impress others: new cars, financed phones, designer clothes, projecting success they don't possess. They're renting an image. The rich are almost invisible, driving reliable cars, not the latest models. Their money goes toward assets that generate income: stocks, real estate, businesses that run without them. They understand money is for sowing and multiplying, not just spending. Andres buys the latest iPhone in installments and spends on expensive dinners for Instagram. His net worth is negative. Valeria uses a mid-range phone and invests that $100 a month in a diversified index fund. 5 years later, her net worth has grown thousands thanks to compound interest, while Andres only has debt and an outdated phone. Poverty is perpetuated by seeking social approval. Wealth begins by seeking autonomy and freedom. Which do you prefer, looking rich or being free? If freedom, like this video to see more content that challenges norms. Principle 4. The immediate gratification trap. Poor thinking focuses on the immediate present. It seeks instant pleasure without considering future consequences. It's the $10 coffee, the unnecessary indulgence, the I deserve it attitude. Rich thinking is architectural, planning decades ahead. Small, consistent sacrifices today lead to great financial freedom tomorrow. They know boring decisions build the most exciting future. Imagine two people investing $10 a day. The poor person has an empty cup. The rich person, with a modest return, has over $150,000 after 20 years due to compound interest. Strategic thinking means sacrificing temporary comfort for permanent freedom. Principle 5, complaining environment versus elevating environment. Your environment shapes your future. The poor surround themselves with dream stealers who blame, criticize, and discourage. The rich seek out smarter, more successful, and ambitious people. They understand ideas are contagious and change the conversation to level up. Their environment doesn't allow mediocrity. Luis spends weekends with friends who complain and drink, a toxic cycle. Marta seeks a mastermind group. Conversations revolve around strategies, investments, and new projects. Luis ends the weekend exhausted. Marta ends up inspired with actions for the week. Your environment is your mirror. Who do you need to stop listening to or start following? If this inspires you, share it with someone who should be part of your new circle of success. Now, let's dissect the next 5 principles, the foundation of the millionaire mindset. Principle 6, the vision of money, the END versus the tool. For the poor, money is the ultimate goal. I want money to stop suffering. They spend it to temporarily relieve pain or anxiety. For the wealthy, money is a neutral, powerful tool. The question is, what can I build, multiply, and serve with it? Money is like a seed. The poor eat the seed, spending their income. The rich plant it to harvest a tree that bears more seeds. They invest to multiply. If you're determined to stop eating the seed and start sowing, subscribe. We discuss using money as a tool for freedom, not stress. Principle 7, the relationship with failure, humiliation versus university. The poor fear failure more than anything else. They seek absolute security and therefore never budge. Failure is seen as a stain, proof that you're not good enough. The rich see failure as valuable information. It's just a result that says, this path doesn't work. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. Walt Disney went bankrupt multiple times. For them, failure was a recalibration, not a sentence. Failure well used becomes the best university in the world. Don't avoid it, study it. If you've ever fallen and gotten back up, say, I don't give up. I want to read you. Principle 8, how they see other people's success, threat versus map. This is a mentality test. The poor see the success of a neighbor or colleague as a personal threat. Envy consumes them. Phrases like, he must have cheated or it was luck are their defense mechanism. The rich see other people's success as proof of concept. It's a source of data, a map that says, this is possible. What can I learn from their path? What did they do differently? When seeing a luxury car, the poor feel anger and judgment. The rich feel constructive curiosity and ask themselves, what problem does that person solve to afford that lifestyle? The envious person gets stuck. The inspired person expands. Principle 9, how they use their energy, complaining versus creation. Emotional energy is a finite resource. People with a poor mindset drain all their energy into complaining. They focus on what they don't have, what they can't control, and the past. This creates a cycle of passivity and victimhood. The rich mind is a generator of action. Its energy is directed toward solutions and creation. They know that time spent complaining is time wasted building, and that the only variable they can control is their effort and focus. A negative thought is a drain on energy. A solution-oriented thought is a driver. Wealth is built by directing your energy where you can make an impact. If you decide to stop complaining and start creating, say, focused energy, it's the first step to breaking out of the mental cycle of poverty. Principle 10, the definition of success, having versus being. The poor confuse wealth with the accumulation of things. They measure their value by what they own, a bigger cell phone, a more expensive house. Their value is tied to material things. The rich understand that true success is being. It is the ability to make decisions without being tied to economic need. It is having time for their family, geographical freedom, and the ability to contribute to the community. True wealth isn't measured by your bank balance, but by the number of mornings you can wake up and do exactly what you want. Conclusion: your final decision. We've cracked the code. You saw that change doesn't start with your salary, but with your belief system. The poor think they already know. The rich are always learning. The poor fear risk. The rich manage it to create. The poor spend to impress. The rich invest to free themselves. The scarcity mindset is the default inertia. The wealth mindset is an active, daily decision. Now that you have the map, you have two paths. Close this video and return to old excuses and complaining. Subscribe right now and commit to the path that will force you to grow. Ring the bell, because every week you're going to receive something the system doesn't want you to know, that you are in charge of your destiny. Change doesn't start with money. Start with mindset.